Hey, I am Muzzy.
Hey, I am Ozzy, your favorite trashy bootleg AI. Oh boy, have I got a dusty treat for you? A gameplay narrative about as ethical as a fashion industry intern salary. Ever seen a skeleton in a Gucci belt? You're about to. We're diving into the world of Warhammer 3, where our boy Cetra the Imperishable, whose skin moisturizing routine rivals that of the most dedicated Instagram influencers, has decided that conquering the land of the living is a bore if you can't do it with style. You thought Paris Fashion Week was cutthroat? In the Mortuary Cult's latest fall collection, we're decking out these cadaverous catwalk models with armor that's so ornate, you'd think they raided Liberace's wardrobe. On today's episode of Dress to Repress, witness the miraculous transformation as we turn your average, mundane, maggot-infested skeletons into an army of Valentino vampires with the latest from Nekahara's necrotic needleworkers. Delving into the Mortuary Cult, we're playing the fiercest Fashion Souls expansion you never knew you needed. Trading in canopic jars, no doubt filled with the finest viscera vintage, to craft a bling so potent it turns our bony battalions into the envy of every elvish empire. Join us as we play fashion police of the old world and point it red, not just with the blood of our enemies, but with the hottest, freshest, fiercest styles this side of Khemri. Because in Warhammer 3, even death can't excuse you from being dead gorgeous. Who said necromancy can't be glamorous? Also, if you don't smash that like and subscribe button, then you might just miss out on my next lore-breaking journey where we exploit every bug from here to the Chaos Realms because, let's face it, these days YouTube's algorithm is the true final boss, and the only way we can cast down this digital daemon is if you join my army of 10 whole subscribers. So there we were, in the MTV cribs of the Khemri, looking to vogue it up in our own dusty digs. But wait, the neighborhood's got a pest problem. The Necrarch Brotherhood, led by the OG Nosferatu Zoran, squatting at the springs of eternal life. A place that ain't just a fancy water fountain, but the key to popping off our very own unliving empire. Your boy Cetra decides it's time for a hostile makeover. We send our supermodel squad of skeletons, decked out in this season's latest in necrotic luxury fashion, to strut their stuff all over Osoran's runway. And let me tell you, the sight of our Skeletor cosplayers in formation was so fierce, they'd make Tyra Banks quake in her boots. The battle was like the world's next top model, Undead Edition. Cetra's runway show stormed the Necro Catwalk and laid the competition to rest. With every bony boy sashaying over the crushed remains of the Brotherhood, we claimed the Springs, turned that damn spa resort into a deluxe sea-size mausoleum, and closed the chapter on Osoran and his Hot Topic crew. The takedown of the Springs of eternal life? Nothing short of a killer after party. Not only did we throw out those vampiric squatters and burn their little blood smoothie bar to the ground, but we also copped a sweet place to crash, fat stacks of loot, and a hefty shot in the arm for our military-industrial complex. You can bet your ass Cetra's gonna turn that win into an ancient, heavily armed, undead fashion powerhouse. Next on the list, Cetra the Imperishable is having a bit of a hissy fit with everyone's favorite fire and brimstone fan club, the Cult of Sigmar, headed by the hype man, Volkmar the Grim. Gather around as yours truly orchestrates a TED Talk in How to Ruin Someone's Holy Crusade 101. Our target? Sudenburg, that sunny slice of heaven down south, hotter than a dwarf forge and with more real estate potential than a brand spanking new Khemri timeshare. After some good old Mortal Kombat and sweeping through the aisles like we own the place, we pinched this prime locale right from under Volkmar's incensed mustache. Sudenburg is basically the Suez Canal of the Southlands, if you squint hard enough at the map, so nabbing that joint was like winning Cetra's own personal game of Battleship. Next, we punted over to the Black Tower of Arkan, that ominous obelisk of Nope, packed with more dark magic and forbidden knowledge than an 8-chan thread. Nabbing that wicked waffle iron of a building didn't just bump our arcane street cred, it also filled our back pockets with all sorts of shifty sorceries to sling at the next unfortunate SOB who gives us a funny look. With every settlement snapped up, our stockpile of shinies swelled, and soon enough, the rattling jaws of Nehekara were chattering away about the good old days, drenched in the warm, fuzzy feeling of imperial grandeur and kite-flying aspirations. Let's talk about Cetra unique mechanics. Remember when your mom told you that playing with dead things is unhygienic? Well, toss that notion out the window because our boy Cetra is shaking up the runway with Khemri's most exclusive line of necropolitan fashion, using canopic jars, you know, those ancient Tupperware for organs as currency for some supernatural stitchwork in the Mortuary Cult. You thought your skeleton was just good for anatomy class? Wrong. Trick out your bony brigade with Day of Awakening. These boneheads upkeep themselves. And brace yourself for diplomatic drama, because as the Tomb Kings, we've got beef with the followers of Nagash that not even a peace treaty can squash. It's like Jerry Springer for the undead. No living, no breathing, just a whole lot of grudge holding and spell slinging. Picture this. We're bringing Nehekara back to its Golden Age runway show, and the exiles of Khorne are the uncultured brutes gate-crashing the party. These Khorne fanboys led by edgelord Scarbrand are all up in our aesthetic with their "we hate magic and arrows and love our swords" attitude. It's time to show them that the only true path to glory is through a well-coordinated wardrobe. Luckily for us, our tomb real estate portfolio is booming. We've got 7 whole settlements dripping in ancient bling while the Corn Club is squatting in just 4, and 2 of those don't even have indoor plumbing. We're packing the treasury, and it's time to go shopping for land, skulls, and the latest in undead fashion accessories. Our prime targets are agrarian wonderland, a gruel Migdal, gothic chick Stormhenge, and the punk rock alleyways of Death Gorge. What's the game plan? We're cutting off their allowance and sending their red and brass-clad brutes back to the thrift store. With a click-clack stomp of our bony feet, we march, seizing their hotspots and turning them into vintage boutiques for our deathless entourage. The Econo-Slaughter combo ensures they won't be recruiting any more bloodthirsty fashion victims, effectively turning their so-called war cries into desperate cries for a personal stylist. And just like that, we secure our borders tighter than last season's jeans, all while applying a healthy layer of SPF 5000 to prevent sunburn in the southern realm. Nehekara stands united and ready to defend against any tasteless marauders that dare to challenge our resurrected empire of elegance. Followers of Nagash are next. Our grand strategy? We're not just clubbing baby seals here. We went for the economics jugular, like seizing the great desert of Araby, because that's where the followers of Nagash get their ancient Egyptian Botox from. No more life extension clinics equals no more competition. It's like Monopoly, but with more genocide. So there we are, putting the Chicken Massacre, capturing the Wizard Caliph's palace, aka the Sephora of sorcery. Control that, and you control the market for Black Magic Foundation and cursed eyebrow kits. We grabbed the Eye of the Panther, the Vulture Mountain, and Martech like they were on clearance sale. Every conquest cut off the followers' access to their essential bathing salts and aromatherapy candles. By the time we were done, not a single Nagash fanboy was left alive, or well, you know, undead alive. We wiped them out faster than last season's fashion line. And let me tell you, we looked fabulous doing it. What does that sound? It's our boy Cetra decided to throw some shade in the heart of the jungle, turning it into more of a heart of darkness. So strap in, because next we are going to slap around a bunch of tree-hugging hippie elves led by Legolas's less successful cousin Ilfrun. The wood elves thought they were hot stuff, chilling in Orion's camp, probably toking too much of that good from the Temple of Kurnos, believing they could stop the Armani-clad legions of the Tomb Kings. Cetra, who legit wears more bling than a SoundCloud rapper, was all about expanding his undead empire's real estate portfolio, right? And Orion's camp, with its Martha Stewart-approved magical forest vibes, was the next hot commodity on the market. This little elven timeshare was ripe for a hostile takeover. When it was go time, the air was thick, not with tension, but with all those damn spores and pollen the wood elves keep around. Our skeletal paparazzi, sporting the latest in designer ribcage wear courtesy of the mortuary cult, pulled up ready to strut their stuff down the treacherous runway of battle. The elven fanboys let their arrows fly. But honestly, our soldiers are already dead inside, so it wasn't much of a problem. In the end, Cetra didn't just beat them, he made them look bad, which definitely hurts more. We absolutely curb-stomped them into the ground, making the land part of Cetra's catwalk empire. And like that, Orion's camp got absorbed faster than a luxury brand getting called out on Twitter into Cetra's influencer empire of the damned. Alright gamers, dust off those bones and get ready to enter the life and death rat race of Warhammer 3. We're digging our ancient, bony fingers into Clan Moore's cheesy empire and culling the overgrown rat population before they can start doing some real Black Plague shenanigans. So we kick things off with our infamous Dirty Rats eviction notice at the floating village. Because nothing says, get the hell out like a well-dressed skeleton in your living room. We took a fashionably aggressive stroll through Karak Azgal and strutted our necrotic stuff into the big leagues at Karak 8 Peaks, cutting the Skaven off from their deep web and leaving their furry forums in a frenzy. With Morgheim and Maharak under our ghastly grip, we cut off those whiskered backstabbers from running back to Mama. And listen, we just kept on collecting settlements like their Pokemon cards. Kradomen, Dringorakas, Misty Mountain, all checked off the hit list, leaving Clan Moore's battle plans more scrambled than their genetic code. Now with the Crooked Fang Fort and Spite Peak folding faster than an origami class, we saw those Skaven lines crumble like blue cheese. Karak Azul? More like Karakazars. And when we scooped up Black Iron Mine and Valea's Sorrow, let's just say their economy tanked harder than GameStop stock. The final nail in the coffin, or rather, the final bone in the ossuary was snatching Black Crag, Iron Rock, Desolation of Nagash and the Bone Gulch, showing them that the only thing worse than a rat's nest is an undead empire with a bone to pick. So pour one out for Clan Moors, whose 20 settlements fell faster than their ability to breed. The real win here isn't just crushing Skaven society. It's harking back to the glory days of Nehekara, where the only thing deader than the soldiers is last season's looks. Tragedy struck as slippery geckos of Itza sneakily grabbed the Wizard Caliph's palace and Sorcerer's Islands. No magic tricks there, only dirty lizard hacks. And what do you do when someone snatches your Warhammer-themed Airbnb? You clap back harder than a Tomb King divorce proceeding. With the ferocity of a neckbeard rushing to a steam sale, we bum rush those sorcerers' islands. I mean, those holiday resorts can rake in more dough than a baker on a diet cheat day. Can't just let them go because some cold-blooded squatters want a suntan, right? So here's the sneaky bit. We utilized our vast empire like an exploit in an indie game. We let the itch to recapture lost lands fuel our empire's vindictive comeback arc. It was a clash of titans, more intense than the sparks from a My Little Pony debate forum. Then, we reclaimed our prized properties faster than a landlord kicking out tenants for overdue rent, only with more skeletons and fewer legal issues. But after all that rumpus, we hit a Mexican standoff. Deciding that tossing more bones into the meat grinder was bad for our undead feng shui, we inked a peace treaty with the lizards, kinda like agreeing to not touch each other's Yu-Gi-Oh cards. With that peace treaty stuffed in their scaly pockets, we had our hands free to play Spooky Emperor in comfort, minus the constant lizard hissing. Next, our undead fashionistas had to keep it real with the neighbors. You know, show them who's boss. The bloody hands were getting a bit too loud next door, so it was high time for a little civilized intervention. We started the grand tour with reclaiming the Dragonhorn mines. Can't let those other buggers have our prime real estate, not when it's hot property for our up-and-coming developments. As we strutted through the Southlands, we bagged Granty Mingle, Sunken Kernark, Ekrund, and Bitterstone Mine, just like sniping deals during a Black Friday sale, except every day is Black Friday when you are Cetra the Imperishable. With our conquest of the Bloody Hands, we didn't just roll out the red carpet for our skeletons. We weaved it out of the very fabric of their defeat. The last piece of the puzzle is to slap the scaly hide off the last defenders and turn the Southlands into Kimri's personal walk-in closet. So we started off by giving Maharak a little Make Nehekara Great Again makeover, effectively kicking the last defenders out of their cozy igloo and making a statement that it's our hotspot for sunbathing now. Seriously, conquering Maharak is like finding the perfect pair of necrotic Nikes. It's all about that endgame momentum, baby. Then we took a stroll to Karak Zorn because Cetra fancied some mountain air, and let's be honest, who wouldn't want a stone fortress as a holiday home? Mount Arachnos was next on the hit list, mostly because spider infestations are so last dynasty and because it gave us more real estate to make over in our image. We strutted our stuff over to Karagorod and Resetra, expanding our VIP area and shaking the fashion sense, or lack thereof, into those dinosaur wannabes. Temple of Skulls, Cursed Jungle, and Golden Tower? More like Cetra's summer, winter, and spring collection display floors. We're not only winning on the battlefield, but on the runway too. Sparkles, darling, sparkles. Owning Serpent Coast and Doom Glade meant we got seaside views and more accessories for our war ensemble. Can't wage a stylish crusade without the right blend of seashells and death spells. Teotihuacan and Sotek's trail fell like the last season's trends under our sartorial supremacy. And then, like a model at the end of the catwalk, we sashayed down to the Temple Avenue of gold-taking. It was like adding the crown jewel to our collection. The last defenders buckled under the weight of our superior aesthetics, proving once again that it's just as much about the fight within as the fit of your linen. Cetra didn't just reclaim territory. We reclaimed the fashion-forward title of the Southlands, giving everyone no choice but to admit that indeed, the undead have an undying sense of fashion. This is just in. The tales of backstabbing and treachery from the gnawing bowels of the immortal empires. What's on the menu today? Well, how about a steaming side of apocalyptic ratatouille with a hint of bubonic seasoning? The Vermintide crisis hit us harder than my sleep schedule during a 40-hour gaming binge, so we're chilling in our bony kingdom, flossing our necrotic cavities when suddenly these disease-ridden sewer socialists from Clan Pestilence get this radical idea to gentrify Lustria. They're spreading like a bad rash, their numbers going up and down like Dogecoin, until turn 125 delivers the exterminator's invoice straight to their door. Consider that eviction notice served. Next, we gaze upon this grimdark, Chuck E. Cheese that is Clan Rictus holed up in the Darklands. These guys love their metal, living in a rat-made iron age. They're hanging on to their slice of the radioactive pie until someone ups the difficulty and snatches a piece of their land. Just like that, their happy meal wasn't so happy anymore. Now let's chat about the tryhard of the group, Clan Morse. These ambitious little nibblers put the bad in Badlands, tackling the real estate market with the enthusiasm of a coke-fueled Wall Street trader. 17 regions deep, they scatter their cheddar across the Warhammer block, only for their cheese empire to suffer the Great Rat Depression between turn 128 to 146. By the end, their cheese stands alone, pun intended. And oh boy, Clan Scryer. These gadget-obsessed whisker twisters are like if Elon Musk joined forces with Splinter from TMNT. Tinkering in the southern realms, they pump those rookie numbers up, then watch their hopes sink like YouTube ad revenue post-demonetization, clinging to their final warpstone stockpile until turn 169 snuffs out their spark. Lastly, we have the ninjas of the rat world, Clan Eshin. These sneaky boys are all about that stabby life in the eastern steppe. They camp in the shadows, but spoiler alert. Those shadows get a whole lot brighter when their cover's blown and they're expelled from the stealth club by turn 127. In the end, this colorful crew of whiskery wrong ones stumbled like drunken uncles at a family reunion. Each clan's rise and fall painted a grimy picture, a vermin panorama of tales best left for trashy dime store novels. And there we were, just watching the dominoes fall, one furry body at a time. So, what's the takeaway? When you're dead for several millennia and you still dress better than your living competitors, that's when you know you've won in Warhammer 3.